my channel. My name is Dina. On this episode of the Rainbow series, we're going to be dipping into green eyeshadow. So if you're interested in seeing a green eyeshadow tutorial, then I'll see you back in a sec. Alright you guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend wherever you guys are. So like I said, we're going to be dipping into green eyeshadow, so it's going to be so much fun. But before we dip into any actual color, if you're new to my channel, you're going to need your basic eyeshadow set. And if you need help picking out your basic eyeshadow set, please refer to my eyeshadow tutorial and then come on back to this video so that way we can be on the same page in achieving this green eyeshadow look. So before we actually start dipping into our basic eyeshadow colors, I recommend priming your eyelids with an eyeshadow primer. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my favorite eyeshadow primer. That's only $1. It is from shopmissa.com. It is their AOA eyeshadow primer, and you just want to be sure to, when you apply it, don't go directly onto your eyelid. Put a little bit onto the back of your hand and then use a synthetic brush to apply it, just so that way you do get a thin, even layer from your bottom part of your lashes all the way up underneath the eyebrow. So that's just going to really give you a blank canvas and also to keep your eyeshadows lasting all day long and also prevent your shadows from creasing. Okay, so now that you have your eyeshadow primer on your eyelids, now we're going to go in with our base color. I'm going to go ahead and take this flat white color and I'm just going to place this right over my eyeshadow primer. Now we do have eyeshadow primer on our eyelid, but you do want to make sure to put some sort of color over your primer, because if you go in directly with color on top of your eyeshadow primer, it's going to stick to that and it's not going to blend. So be sure to put a flat white color just right over the primer, and also be sure to soften just so that way it looks really soft and really natural. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go for a more smoky green route. I feel like I want to do something a little bit more emerald today. So nothing too neon. Okay, so once you're done applying your eyeshadow base, now we're going to go ahead and actually define our crease. So for our crease, we're going to use our crease brush, so something a little bit fluffier. And a lot of people, whenever they go into the crease color, they'll automatically go into something a little bit more brown. I like to keep my crease a little bit more on the neutral side, and then I'll go ahead and enhance it and make it a little bit smokier. So I'm going to go into my natural crease color, so you'll see it's a little bit more of a flesh tone. Go ahead and tap off the excess just so that way you don't have any fallout. And for the crease, we're going to place it right in the crease. So we're going to do these really large windshield wiper movements, and we're just going to take that and we're going to put it in our natural fold in our eye. So right where our eye naturally creases, we're going to go ahead and take that. Perfect. Now once you're done applying your natural crease color, now we're going to go ahead and enhance it just a little bit. So I'm going to enhance it with this bronzy color, so very similar to an actual bronzer. If you really love this shade and you don't have this shade or a shade similar to this, you can go ahead and use your actual bronzer. Very, very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into that. Again, go ahead and tap off the excess, and then I'm going to go ahead and place this right at the outside corner and in the crease as well. Okay, so now that you're done applying that color to the crease, you can overall see how it does enhance the crease, but I'm not going in with any chocolate brown or anything too harsh yet. So now I'm going to go ahead and take that same bronzy brown color and put it on the other side on my crease as well. Okay, so once you're done applying the second crease color, you want to take a blending brush. So I have a separate brush that absolutely has no color, and I never physically take this brush and actually dip it into color. So it's just a clean brush that I specifically use for blending. So once I'm done applying my two crease colors, then I'm going to go ahead and take this brush and ever so gently just use the tip of the brush and blend those two colors together. Again, just focusing on the crease. So I'm not going to take the actual pigment and put it up underneath my brow, because we do want it to overall be lighter and brighter right over there. So I'm literally just taking it right in my crease, and like I said, just using the tip of the brush to soften and blend the colors. Perfect. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit darker of a color. So you can see this color right over here, how it has a little bit more of a reddish tint to it. So I'm going to take a little bit of a reddish brown color, and I'm going to take this with a little bit smaller of a blending brush, so it's not as big, as fluffy as the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into that reddish brown color, and this color I'm going to take it on the outside corner of my eye and then blend it to my crease. So I'm going to take this specific color, again tap off the excess, and I'm going to take that right on the outside corner. So you could see how I'm literally placing it right at the outside corner, so almost like a stamp right over there. And then you're going to go back and forth, and you're going to blend that little stamp that you just put at the outside corner of your eye. And then whatever is left over, you're going to go ahead and take that to the crease, so overall it does blend to those two shades that we did put into the crease. Now you could see how if I just went in with this reddish brown color all over my crease, how it could look overall harsh. That's why those two base colors are so important, so that way when you do want to add something a little bit smokier, a little bit richer, it does overall look more blended. So again, you're going to place it right at the outside corner of the eye, and then go back and forth to really blend, and whatever's left over, go ahead and take that to the crease. So now I'm going to go ahead and dip into that same reddish brown color, go ahead and tap off the excess, and again you're going to place it right at the outside corner. So you'll see I'll just place it right at the outside corner, right over there, and then you're going to go back and forth blending, just focusing really on that outside corner. And then once you're done blending the outside corner, again you're going to take whatever is left over on the brush and really bring it up into the crease. So we're going to take it right over here. Now once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and take a look at it into a further mirror. Now I feel like I want to make it just a little bit smokier, so since I do want to make it smokier, I'm going to go ahead and add another layer. So you always want to do, whenever you want to make your shadow a little bit darker, a little bit smokier, go ahead and just add more pigment. You can always add more, but it's really hard to wipe it away after. So just go ahead and take a little bit more and just do it gradually, step by step. So again, go ahead, tap off your excess, and you'll see how overall I'm just going to make it look a little bit more intense. Perfect. And then again, I'm going to take whatever's left over and put it in the crease, and you can overall see how I did enhance that color, just make it a little bit smokier, but overall it just looks more blended and more seamless. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And once you're done applying the second layer, you're going to go ahead and take that same exact blending brush that I just showed you, and again you're going to go ahead and blend all the work that you just did, just to make sure that there's no harsh lines and that all the colors fade together. I like to fade my eyeshadow step by step, so right after I'm done applying the color, just so that way I avoid mixing and blending all the colors at the end. A lot of people will do their eyeshadow and have their completed eyeshadow look and then go ahead and try to soften everything afterwards, but then overall you're just going to mix the colors together. So if you do want a really soft, a really blended eyeshadow look, just be sure to do what I'm doing and just blend in between color. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do my lower lash line. So I'm going to use a really small eyeshadow brush for this one, specifically made for the lower lash line. So for this specific step, I'm going to go ahead and use a cool tone brown. So you could see how I do have a cool tone brown right over here, so it doesn't really have any red or any orange tint to it. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into this color right over here, and then I'm going to tap off the excess. You can also tap off the excess onto a tissue if you'd like, just to ensure that there is no excess pigment on the actual brush. And for this specific step, you're going to go ahead and look up into the mirror, and if you feel comfortable, you can actually go ahead and look up. If not, just go ahead and hold your mirror up really, really high, because you want your eyeshadow to be really close to your lower lash line, just so that way it's not too thick and then you make your eyes look dark underneath. So just be sure to keep it really, really close to your lower lash line. Another thing that's really important with this step, be sure to really make sure that there is absolutely no excess eyeshadow on the brush, just to avoid actually getting any specks of eyeshadow into your eye. Perfect, so I'm just going to go ahead and really soften and blend this. Perfect, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take that same exact cool tone brown and do it on the other side. So right up underneath my eyelashes. Now I'm going to make this a little bit smokier just for this specific under eye look. So I'm going to go ahead and just dip into that shade again and go ahead and do just one more coat, because I do want it just to overall be a little bit smokier. So just take one more coat and do a little bit extra. Perfect. Now once you're done doing your lower lash line, again you're going to go ahead and take that blending brush. Now before I take this to my lower lash line, I'm just going to double check and make sure that there's absolutely no pigment. And since we did blend the top part of our eyelids, there is going to be a little bit of pigment, so you can go ahead and see how there is a little bit leftover pigment. That's from blending the top part of our eyes. So now we're going to take this clean blending brush and we're going to take it right up underneath our eyes, just so that way you don't see the line of eyeshadow and our makeup. So go ahead and look up and just ever so gently soften that line of the eyeshadow that we just did up underneath our lash line. So again, just take that blending brush and go all the way up underneath your eyelashes just to make sure that there's no line of eyeshadow and then your makeup. Perfect. So now that we're done doing our base colors, now we're going to go ahead and start dipping into actual color. So now I'm going to show you the eyeshadow palette that inspired me to do the rainbow eyeshadow series. This eyeshadow palette I purchased off Amazon. I went ahead and did link it for you down below. Very inexpensive and non-toxic, so I highly recommend it. So you can go ahead and take a look right over here. There is no name brand on it, but it just has these gorgeous, gorgeous array of colors. So really, really beautiful eyeshadow colors. They blend very, very nicely, and they're also very pigmented. So you don't have to dip in your brush so many times. There is no fallout. So if you do take that color and really put it in the crease, it doesn't flick and then come onto the side of your nose or on the outside corner of your face. So overall, very, very good quality eyeshadows. I highly recommend them, and I believe they were only about $20 to $25. So super, super inexpensive. Now there's two different shades of green in this specific eyeshadow palette. We do have a really bright neon green that's located in this first pan, and then we also have this really gorgeous row of emerald green that's located right over here. For this specific green eyeshadow look, I'm going to be doing more of a rich emerald green, so I'm going to go ahead and dip into this palette right over here, and then tomorrow we'll do something a little bit more bright, a little bit more neon, and we'll dive into this really gorgeous electric green eyeshadow palette. So for today, we're going to focus on this one right over here. So it's a part of the one that has a little bit more purple and a little bit more turquoise going on, but I'm going to focus more on this side. So my right, your left. Now for this specific step, you're going to need your basic eyeshadow brush. So as you can see, it's just a traditional eyeshadow brush. Nothing too rounded, nothing really fluffy, just a dense eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go ahead and dip into your classic emerald green. So I'll go ahead and swatch it for you right on my finger. So you can see it's a classic emerald green. It almost matches my top. So nothing too bright, nothing too electric, just your classic emerald green. So I'm going to go ahead and take that same eyeshadow brush that I just showed you. And for this step, I like to actually use my tissue. I don't like to rely just on tapping since we are using such an intense pigment. Better be safe than sorry, and just overall have a tissue handy. Again, go ahead and coat both sides of the brush, and then whatever's left over, I literally just kind of tap it on my tissue, and you'll see how much pigment does come off. So just to ensure that there is no fallout, I do like to just take that extra step and take it onto the tissue. Now for this step, I'm going to take that green eyeshadow and I'm just going to pack it all over my eyelid. So I want it to be really intense. For that reason, I'm doing this specific step right over here and this specific motion. So I'm not taking a huge blending brush because I don't want it to be a sheer application. I want it to be a very concentrated application of green. So I'm going to take this emerald green and I'm going to focus it all the way from my lower lash line. And if you want to get even closer to your lower lash line, go ahead and flip your brush and then take that tip of the brush and place it right up underneath your eyelashes. Now again, just go in and do it step by step, just so that way you really make sure that there's no fallout. And for this specific eyeshadow step, you guys, I'm going all the way to my inside corner to the outside corner. So I'm going to cover the whole entire lid. Now you can see how I'm focusing more on my lower lash line. I'm not really taking that pigment up to the crease yet. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking that pigment up to the crease, but I'm going to show you how I like to do it, just how overall it makes it look a little bit softer. So I'm going to continue to add this pigment until I'm happy, and then once we're done with that, I'm going to show you how I like to fade the pigment upward. Okay, so now that I'm done placing it from the inside corner of my eye all the way to the outside corner of my eye, I'm going to go ahead and take that same exact brush that we used for the lower lash line, and I'm just going to soften the line that's right over here, and then ever so gently start bringing that pigment up into the crease, because I don't want it to be a really harsh transition. So if I took this and tried to blend it, or took this all the way up to the crease, you would see that really harsh line of green. So if you want it to be more of a gradient, more of a ombre smoky eye effect, go ahead and use a completely different brush that has absolutely no green pigment on it whatsoever, and you could see how slowly I'm starting to bring that pigment up from my lower lash line and up into the crease, so it's darker and more concentrated, more emerald at the base, and then it starts to fade upward. So So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and take that same exact eyeshadow brush, coat the brush with that emerald green, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start right at the inside corner, and I'm not going to move my brush whatsoever. I'm just going to bounce it right at the top of my eye, just focusing right on this area. And again, if you want to get closer, go ahead and flip your brush and point it in the direction of your lower lash line, so that way you can see I'm really tucking that brush in between my eyelashes and I'm getting super close to my lower lash line. Now go ahead and again take it right on the inside corner of your eye, so that way we do have pigment right over here, and then go ahead and start packing that eyeshadow right at the outside corner. Now this is just one dip of pigment, so I dipped my brush in the eyeshadow pan just one time, and then I went ahead and tapped off the excess on my tissue, and look how much pigment is still coming off that brush. That's the quality of the eyeshadow. If the eyeshadow wasn't great of quality, you would have to dip in so many times, you would have to spray the brush just to get the pigment as enhanced and as intense as it is right now. So this is just with one dip, you guys. Look how much pigment is still coming off of my actual brush. And then once I'm done applying that color, I'm going to go ahead and take that blending brush that I specifically use for my lower lash line, and I'm just going to ever so gently blend and bring up the pigment from my lower lash line and start to blend it into my natural crease colors. Whenever you take whatever is left over on your brush and bring it up, just overall look at how much more natural that looks. You don't see this harsh transition of green and where that brown eyeshadow is. Just overall it looks really soft and really blended. Now once you're done using that small eyeshadow brush to blend the green into the eyeshadow, go ahead and take your actual blending brush and just one time go over everything, just to ensure that everything is really seamless and really blended. Okay, so now that I'm done adding my emerald green, I'm going to add a little bit more warmth to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my crease brush, so the really big fluffy eyeshadow brush, and for this specific step I'm going to dip into this color right over here, so a part of that same palette. So I just got done dipping into this really beautiful emerald green, so now I'm going to work my way up right over here, so almost at a diagonal, and I'm going to go into this really beautiful reddish brown color. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dip into this really beautiful reddish brown color, and then I'm going to take this cocoa red brown and I'm going to place it right in the crease, but focusing on the outside corner. So you could see I'm not taking it all the way around. I just want it to be a little red and a little smoky just at the outside corner. So I'm going to go ahead and take that same exact color and I'm going to place it right over here, so just at the outside corner of the crease. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and take my blending brush and ever so gently blend this reddish brown color to the emerald green. Perfect. Now once I'm done adding that reddish brown color to the emerald green, I'm just going to overall make it a little bit smokier and a little bit more dramatic. So for this step, I'm going to go into a black eyeshadow, just a basic black eyeshadow that has absolutely no shimmer to it whatsoever, so a matte black eyeshadow. And for this specific step, you are going to need that same exact brush that we use for the outside corner. So this one is your small blending brush. So for this step, you want to make sure that your brush is cleaned off completely. So again, go ahead and just wipe your brush off onto a tissue. Go ahead and dip into the black eyeshadow. And then once you're done dipping into the black eyeshadow, go ahead and tap off the excess. And then for this specific step, I'm going to use it, I'll show you right over here. So I'm going to take it right at the outside corner of my eye. But for this specific step, I'm not going to take it into my crease. I just want to focus it just right at the outside corner because I just want to add a little bit of depth to the outside corner, but I don't overall want to make it look really dark and really, dark all over. So you could see how I have this emerald green that transitions to a chocolate brown black that then goes into this really beautiful mahogany brown. So I absolutely love green, red, and black together. Overall, they just look so beautiful and they really make sense on the eye. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side with the black eyeshadow. Perfect. Now once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and take your small blending brush that is for the lower lash line. Go ahead and wipe off that green pigment because we did use it to blend the green to the crease. So just go ahead and take off the excess onto a brush so that way you do have a clean brush. And we're going to go ahead and dip into that same exact black eyeshadow. Now for this step, make sure you hold your mirror up super high because we just want to place this right at the outside corner just to overall connect what we did at the top part to the bottom part. So you could see how I'm not taking this black eyeshadow and putting it all the way up underneath my eye, making it look messy. I'm just taking a little bit and I'm placing it right at the outside corner, and you can see how overall just makes it look more connected and more seamless. So I'm going to go ahead and take that same black eyeshadow and hold my mirror up super high, and I'm going to place that right at the corner of my eyelashes. Perfect. Now once you're done applying that black eyeshadow to your lower lash line, now we're going to start bringing in actual color to our lower lash line. So for this specific step, you're going to need your basic eyeshadow brush, the one that's a little bit more dense, the one that we use to pack on the color to our eyelid. So for this specific step, I'm going to go ahead and take that same exact emerald green color that we did use for our eyelid. Go ahead and just dip into it one time and then go ahead and wipe off the excess either onto the back of your hand or your tissue. So you're going to, for this step, go ahead and look all the way up into your mirror. Now I'm not going to take it too close to the inside corner of my eye, and I'm not going to take it too close to the outside corner. I'm going to do it just right in the middle of my eye. So again, go ahead, put your mirror up, and then ever so gently just tap on that color. You don't have to fully swipe it. It is very, very pigmented, and we do want it just to overall look a little bit more subtle and just kind of just naturally bring down that color. We don't want it to look overly intense. So you could see how just by stippling that pigment onto my lower lash line, how I do get that beautiful emerald green, but it's not this huge, thick, blended line underneath. So overall, just more subtle and more delicate. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So now that you're done applying that on the lower lash line, again, take your best friend, your new best friend, your blending brush, and you're going to take the tip of the blending brush and just ever so gently really, really soften all the work that you just did. Perfect. Now once you're done adding that emerald green, I want you to wipe off the brush completely. So completely wipe off your brush on a tissue. Make sure you get all that green pigment off, and it will come off on a tissue. You don't have to physically wash it. Just go ahead and wipe it off. And then once you're done wiping it off, I want you to dip into that same exact reddish brown color that we tucked in right over here. So go ahead and dip into that cocoa reddish brown color, and then again go ahead and just tap off the excess. And this reddish brown color, I'm going to show you where we're going to put it, because I like to mirror the work that we did on the top of our eye down to the bottom of our eye, just so overall it looks more seamless. So we did do this really gorgeous emerald green, and then we do have this really beautiful smoky black, but you can see how we do have a pocket right over here that doesn't have a transition from green to black. So now we're going to add a transition color from green to black, and I'm going to use that cocoa brown. So I'm going to go ahead and take that cocoa brown color, and I'm just going to ever so gently place it right in between the green and the black. So you could see how it adds this really gorgeous warmth and a really beautiful transition. So you could see how it goes from green to brown to black. So very beautiful, very smoky, and very blended. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So once you're done doing your base colors and adding all of your pop colors, now I'm going to show you how I like to enhance it just a little bit. Now if you overall want your eyeshadow to look a little bit more matte, you can go ahead and just leave it at this. This is absolutely beautiful, and then you can go ahead and fast forward to the eyeliner. But if you want to add a little bit of shine, and I personally really love shine, and I do it in a way where it looks very delicate. I don't like really take a lot of shine or sparkle. I like it to overall look more natural and just make it look more subtle. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do just to add a little bit of shine, just to make our eyes overall pop a little bit more. So you can see how right next to the green emerald eyeshadow that we've been using, there's this really beautiful emerald that has a little bit of gold to it, and it's a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and take this specific green, so you can see how it's almost like a reflective green color. So it has a little bit of a gold tint, and I actually like to use it with my finger. If you do go in with a brush, or if you try and spray your brush, overall it's just going to erase the work that we just did, and you can see how much pigment does come off on the actual brush. So for this specific step, go ahead and take your finger. Now I like to use my ring finger. Your ring finger applies the least amount of pressure, so don't use your index finger, don't use your middle finger. Go ahead and use your ring finger just to ensure that you are applying the least amount of pressure. Go ahead again, just ever so gently take off the excess. So you're taking off the excess off the brush and on your finger. So you can see how it's like this really beautiful, almost like aquamarine green. And I'm going to take this color and I'm going to place it right at the inside corner to the halfway point. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more just to make it a little bit more intense. And you can see how I'm focusing right at the inside corner and on my actual eyeball. But I'm not taking it all the way around, I'm just taking it almost inside corner and halfway. Perfect. Now you can see how overall it just makes it look a little bit more enhanced, a little bit more reflective, but I'm not taking actual shimmer or glitter. I'm just using a lighter and brighter green version. So I'm going to go ahead and take that same light and bright green, and I'm going to place it right at the inside corner on this side. So it's almost like a translucent shine, so you still get a little bit of shine, but again, you're not erasing all that beautiful work that we just did. Perfect. Now, once you're done with that, I'm going to show you how I like to just overall enhance the inside corner of my eye. So to enhance the inside corner of your eye, you're going to need that same brush that we used for underneath. So go ahead and wipe off the brush completely. And then once you're done wiping the brush off completely, we're going to go in between this classic bronzy color and your classic gold. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch it for you. So this is just your classic bronzy color, and then we also have this really beautiful classic gold color. So I'm going to take a little bit of the classic bronze and just dip it into the gold, and then go ahead and tap off the excess. And then once you're done tapping off the excess, we're going to take this gold bronzy color and we're just going to tap it right at the inside corner of the eye, because overall gold and green just look so beautiful together. And since we're doing a overall warm theme, you want to make sure that you do keep it in the warm family. So again, I'm going to just take that same exact bronzy gold color and I'm going to take that right up at the inside corner of my eye. Now once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and dip in just in the gold color. So I'm not going to dip into the bronze, just into that gold color. And for this step, I'm going to wipe off the excess onto the back of my hand. And then whatever's left over on the brush, there will be a little bit left over on the brush. I'm just going to take that reflective pigment, but I'm not going to take a huge swipe and do it all the way to the outside corner of my eyebrow. I'm just going to focus it right at the arch of the brow. If you focus a little bit of reflective pigment right at the arch of the brow, overall it does make your eyes look a little bit bigger because you're making the center focus of your eyes look brighter. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit extra and do just a teeny bit more right over here, so that way you guys can really see exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see overall when I look into the camera how you do see this really beautiful almost highlight underneath the eye. So it really does overall just make my actual eyes look brighter. So you can take a look right over here, so I don't have any highlight underneath the brow right over here. So overall it just makes the center focus of your eyes look a lot brighter, more open, and more awake. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side. Alright you guys, so once you're done adding all the crease colors and all of your pop colors, now I'm going to show you how I like to line my eyes. Now if you're personally not a fan of eyeliner, you can go ahead and skip this step and go ahead and add your mascara, but I'm going to do a really invisible eyeliner. I personally don't like a really harsh line or anything too intense whenever I'm doing color eyeshadow, so I specifically like to stay away from a thick just liquid line. Overall, whenever you do a liquid liner with color eyeshadow, your main focus is that liquid liner and you really don't see all that beautiful artwork that we just did. So for that specific reason, I like to tight line my eyes just for any color eyeshadow. So now I'm going to go ahead and tight line my eyes. If you have any difficulties or any trouble with this specific step, go ahead and try doing it after your mascara. When you do it after your mascara or after your lashes, you overall have a better grip of your lashes because there is something actually coating your lashes, so there's something to actually hold on to. So you're just going to take this liner and you're going to place it right at the water line, but at the top part of your lashes. So you can see when I look at you how I have this water line right at the bottom part of my eye. We also have a water line right at the top part of our lashes. So you're going to take that black eyeliner and you're going to place it right at the water line. So I'm going to go ahead and do one eye first, just so that way you guys can see the difference and the before and after of just specifically eyeliner. So now I'm going to go ahead and tight line my eyes using the black eyeliner. So I'm just going to take my brush and place it right up underneath my lashes. So again, just take that eyeliner and place it right up underneath your lashes from the inside corner all the way to the outside corner. So now I'm going to go ahead and do one more coat because I overall just like to make my eyeliner look a little bit more intense. So I'm just going to take one more coat of that eyeliner and I'm going to place it right up underneath my eyelashes. And then I also like to take it again on the inside corner as well. So now that I'm done tight lining one eye, I just want to show you the before and after. So if you take a look right over here, you could see how we don't have any definition on the base of our lashes or around our eyelashes whatsoever. So you could see right over here how overall we do get a really beautiful definition on our eyelashes, and also too it makes the base of our eyelashes look overall thicker and fuller. Now, a little bit of eyeliner might come down to the bottom part of your eye because it hasn't dried completely. So even if you're using a waterproof gel eyeliner, it might still stamp right at the bottom part. So just go ahead, take a Q-tip, wipe it one time because that eyeliner hasn't fully dried. And then once the eyeliner is fully dry, then you don't have to wipe up underneath your eye. Another tip for you whenever doing gel eyeliner, be sure to actually flip your gel eyeliner over whenever you're dipping into your product just to avoid your product drying out on you. So now that I'm done lining the top part of my eyes, I'm going to show you how I like to line the bottom part of my eyes. So for this specific step, you're going to need a smoky eyeliner brush. So a smoky eyeliner brush, in a sense, is a really small eyeshadow brush. So you could see this is your basic eyeshadow brush, and it's like a really tiny version of a basic eyeshadow brush. So just go ahead and take that smoky eyeliner brush and you're going to dip into the eyeliner that's on the back of your hand. So you see whenever you dip into whatever's left over on the back of your hand how overall it just gives you a really smoky eyeliner effect. So I like the bottom part of my lashes just to look a little bit more smoky. Whenever you have a harsh line at the bottom part of your lashes, overall it does and can make your eyes look smaller. So I like to leave my eyes and make them look a little bit more open, a little bit more awake. So for that specific reason, I like to take whatever is left over on the back of my hand. So you're going to go ahead and take the mirror up really high, and you're instead of placing it underneath your eyelashes, you're going to go right on top of your eyelashes. So kind of place the brush almost inside on the waterline, and then ever so gently go back and forth right on top of your actual eyelashes. Now I'm going to take just a teeny bit more because I feel like it could be a little bit more dramatic. Now I'm not taking it all the way to the inside corner. You could see how I'm focusing right in between the eyelashes, but I'm taking it almost halfway, so I'm not taking it all the way. And you can overall see how I do have a little bit of definition now at the bottom part of my eyelashes, so it's not left bare underneath. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact step on this side using whatever's left over on the back of my hand. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and look up, hold the mirror up really high, and just go right up in between your eyelashes. But again, don't go all the way to the center of the eye. We just kind of want to keep it right at the outside so it is a little bit more smoky right at the outside corner. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and go right up in between the lashes and just really make sure that it is blended and softened. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and do my lashes off camera, and I'm going to come back and show you the final look of the Rainbow Shadow series Green Emerald tutorial. So I'll be right back. Alright you guys, I just got done doing my lashes and mascara off camera, so you can go ahead and take a look at the final look. I'm absolutely obsessed with the emerald green and how it starts to fade to this really beautiful chocolate reddish brown smoky eye. So if you guys have any questions overall on how I achieved this look, feel free to comment me down below. But until next time, I will see you on another episode of the Rainbow Shadow series, where we're going to have so much fun dipping into so many different colors. But until next time, I will see you on another episode, so take care and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.